One Friday Fights 85 took place yesterday at the legendary Lupani Stadium in Bangkok, Thailand. Brother Gaia and myself gave our instant reaction to an amazing night of Friday night fights, this time on Fighting with Friends. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fighting with Friends, the undisputed African fighting podcast, champion of the world. Speaking of champions, ladies and gentlemen, I have with me today the reigning, defending, undisputed vegan champion of the world. That is, of course, Brother Gaia.
Yes, let's
What's up,
go.
Brother Gaia? Happy Saturday,
Yo,
bro.
happy
Welcome
Saturday,
back.
broski.
Away. So it
Thank you.
is
Thank you.
One Friday Fight 85, and like I said, me and you are going to break this one down or give our reaction
Yes,
to
sir.
the events that took place last night. As always, we start at the top of the card, and here we saw Yodlekpet defeat Peungluang by third round KO. So BG, what can you tell the people here, bro? What did you see?
It was a amazing fight. Amazing fight. Firstly, because I thought that Peungluang was pushing the pace in the first round. He was really throwing some very nice body kicks, some leg kicks, looking to sort of keep Yodlekpet at bay, almost keep him in his range for most of the fight. But what was happening as the fight was going on, you could see Yodlekpet was conditioned so well they was able to take that shots and march forward and go through all Peungluang's strikes and land his own strikes. He had difficulty. Yodlekpet had difficulty closing that distance for the first round and even a little bit of the second round as well. But then you could see after like the first 20 seconds of the second round, Yodlekpet just started unloading, putting on the pace, going back, going forward, never took a step backwards, even though when he did get kicked in the body, he blocked it so well and he just kept on marching forward and landing his strikes to the body. And I like that he was doing the body first because it actually set up his finishing sequence, which came in the late in the third, early in the third round, where he started that left shot to the body first, and then once he got that left shot to the body, he started chasing him down. Then he threw a right hand, and then maybe I think he threw another left hand again, which knocked Pyongyang down the first time. But once he got that, he threw a deep kick before that left straight, and I think the deep kick you could see the reaction from Pyongyang was like, oh my word. Then he threw the left straight, knocked him down, got back up, threw another left straight, and that second left for me was, how do I put this without sounding too generic, but it was one of those deadly strikes, bro, because you could see the life just getting like knocked out of Peungluang. You could see his eyes were just like, oh my gosh, he took that left straight and couldn't get back to his feet. He attempted to get back to his feet. He grabbed onto the ropes. But I think the finishing sequence was so beautiful. And we were saying going into the fight that the power advantage is on Yodlekpet's side. I do think that in the flyweight, he packs probably one of the hardest hits, one of the hardest punches in that division. Um, it's tough to see him lose. Like I said, the way I do see him lose is when people outstrike him or get him moving backwards and not allowing him to sort of almost cut you down or cut your angles off, where he keeps you in the corner and then he pretty much unloads, because that's how he gets his job done. And that's exactly what he did. I thought Peungluang was doing okay, but I do think that maybe he got gassed out after that first round by having to fight so much from the back foot and throw such heavy strikes from the back foot. That's take a lot out of your stamina to throw roundhouse kicks when you're going backwards. And you could see it was making him tired when he was doing that, because it didn't really stop Yodlekpet's movement coming forward. He was just forward pressuring through all those arsenal coming from Peungluang. And I think that's pretty discouraging for a fighter when you throw in your best hits and the opponent is still coming forward and it's forcing you to go backwards while you throw in your best hits. It's like, what do I do now? Like, how do I actually beat this fighter if I'm hitting him with my best shots, but he's just walking right through it? So good performance from both fighters, because it went 3 rounds, and I was happy to see it went 3 rounds. But also even a bigger performance for Yodlekpet to get it done again at One Friday Fights.
Nicely done, BG. Very extensive breakdown there. Love it, bro. But yeah, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that, like, the theme of like guys walking through shots, because we saw a lot of that on this fight card, bro. When Oaks were just unloading, but a lot of durability. on
I don't
display on the night.
understand.
It was
It makes no
crazy. It was
sense.
absolutely crazy, bro. Yeah, it defies the laws of science, bro. But anyway, one fight where we didn't see a whole lot of resistance to a knockout was this one.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, we saw Akif Gulazada KO
Hmm.
Saming Dam in the first round.
Yeah,
And the kid looked good, yeah, bro. The kid looked very good, I
yeah.
thought. So yeah, bro, what can you tell us here from the X's and O's?
Yeah, I think good would probably be an understatement for me because I thought the performance was very impressive, considering that it is in a division that's very stacked. Like it's the flyweight is stacked with one of the one championship's best fighters. You know what I mean? I mean, Rod Tang. I can go through the whole list if we have to, but I mean, you can obviously check it out for yourselves if you have the time. But it's a very, very stacked division in the one championship. And to see a performance like that coming from Akif, I do one of the biggest things I took away from the fight wasn't necessarily what he was doing. I found that was impressive, but it reminded me a lot of Kiamra Nabati in terms of the style and the way he was moving. But
Mm,
what was impressive about him was he looks a lot bigger and fuller than most of the flyweights in the one championship. And I thought that, you know what I mean? This can, especially because it's in Muay Thai as well. Like we know in flyweight kickboxing, we know that Takeru is the guy that's changing the game for the one championship. But in Muay Thai, in the flyweight division, you know, Rodtang's the current champion, and to see that kind of performance from Akif, it was like, okay, this could potentially be another puzzle for the one championship in terms of like a fighter taking down some of the fights. What? Sorry. Here we go. Sorry about that. So in terms of what he was doing really well in the fight was quick he actually is, and his defense. Whenever a summoning dam did come forward, he couldn't land. All his leg kicks were getting checked. And then obviously when Akif was going forward, he was so almost instant. Every time Sami Dam missed a strike, Akif was on him. Like within a second, he was on him. Body shots. He was throwing some amazing body shots. And he threw a spinning back kick. Then he threw an elbow that pretty much, I think he cut the corner and then threw a right straight, which pretty much dropped Sami Dam down first. And then once he got up from there, it was pretty much game over because then it was just written for the fight to be ended from over there because then Akif closed him down and then just unloaded such a wild amount of elbows. I think he threw like 4 or 5 right elbows that just was unanswered, eventually knocking something down for a second time. Got back up, closed him down, and then unloaded another combo that was just ferocious because of the amount of speed and velocity that was coming from those strikes. It was highly impressive. He threw a massive knee, pinch knee, right elbow, finished the fight right there. And very impressive win for Akif Kulozada on the night. Honestly, that was a fantastic performance.
absolutely agree, BG. So yeah, fantastic performance. Who would you like to see the kid fight next?
That's a very good question. Um, so we know Jacob Smith's fighting Rotang already, so that's the title fight that's happening. We know Tanzin's also is already booked for a fight that's happening in January.
Hmm.
Mm, Trying to think who we can probably get next. Usuplex also booked for a fight. You can't get anyone that's on that level just yet because they are obviously highly ranked names. I want to pull up
You
the
don't think
rankings.
he's ready for those names yet?
Mm, no, because also you must
Mm.
remember this fight he fought against Sang Dam on the Friday fight card. This is technically a fight night for the UFC. So if he gets another fight, maybe he gets what's this dude's name that's on like a tear right now. He's undefeated. Johan Estupinan, flyweight Muay Thai, 4 fights in
Mm-hmm.
the one championship. He's undefeated. He's like one of the hottest prospects in the one championship right now. He's been on big cards already, and he only had 4 fights in the one championship. So I like stylistically, I would love to see that fight because almost in Azerbaijan, Akif Kulizada, I don't know if he's undefeated. I don't know what his record is like, but that kind of performance will spark an interest in me. If I was Johan Stupinan, I'm like, give me that dude. He's obviously
Yeah.
hot. He's got a fantastic style. If he wins, if Akif wins another massive fight on a fight night card, for example, then he can make a call to fight someone who is in the top 10. So I would say because Johan Stupinan is not in the top 10 right now, maybe go out. You see, he's not in the top 10. All these guys you're looking at on the screen right now have got fights. Dennis Puric is almost 40 years old, so I don't know if he should still be in the rankings, to be quite honest, especially because he lost his last fight against Rodang. So I would probably say Dennis Puric is going to drop down, or give him Dennis Puric, and if he beats Dennis Puric, then you know where he stands. But I think Dennis Puric is already almost 40 years old, so I wouldn't really consider anyone beating him being a big win. It's like beating Liam Madison, beating him at the end of his career. So um, none of these guys on screen right now, I would put him up against. I feel like they're all at the top of their game right now. Nakarov is, I think, is not doesn't have a fight, but I don't think he will take the fight. So as I'm saying, Johan Stupinan, he's not ranked in the top 10 right now. Fight Stupinan, and then the winner of they can definitely make a call for someone that's ranked in the flyweight division.
Absolutely, BG. Give thanks. So yeah, fantastic performance there by the young man, and yeah, we at the CPS reports, of course, wish him all the best with the rest of his
Yeah.
career, and we'll be following it closely from our desks here. Okay, so let's keep it moving, BG. And here we
Sweet.
saw this fight for some reason was moved to the top of the card. The strawweight Muay Thai bout between our man Brazil and had to do it. Lintet,
Oh,
Brazil, of course, winning by unanimous decision here. So
yeah.
BG, what can you tell us as far as the X and O's here, bro? I must just give you
Um.
a bit of a heads up here, bro. My power has just gone out, so
Oh
I'm
no.
living on a wing and a prayer. But we can keep it going, bro. No
Oh,
problem.
oh, oh. I don't have a UPS, so if it goes out by me, then I'm out
Let's
the
keep
episode.
keep keep going, bro.
Okay, so Brazil and Tai Lin was a interesting fight. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because the fight was pretty much one fighter was throwing a lot of strikes and landing, and the other fighter took too long to throw. So in Brazil, he was the one that was out. He never missed a strike. He never really got hit, and that's also because I think Tai Lin took too long. He took too long to get going. He never really threw combinations to get going. He looked for one shots to get in. He never really looked to move and navigate Brazil around. So Brazil had fantastic footwork in this fight, and I thought he's got better footwork than you. Take away his legs, take away his body, keep him from not being able to move laterally and let him go straight backwards all the time. And Toylin didn't do any of that. It just took way too long to get going in the fight. And when I got to the third round, I felt like it was too late for him to even start because he was down so badly in the first and second round. And even in the third round, he didn't really land anything on Brazil. He was trying to clinched up when he could, but just wasn't enough, man. And I just felt like he was taking too long to get started. And that disappointed me because he's fighting out of Myanmar, Lithuania fighters. I dig their style, the conditions like he's second to none in the one championship. But I just felt like he was taking too long to get going. He didn't jab when Brazil was jabbing. He didn't try and get Brazil. He didn't go first, and that's what
Mm,
made him go. That's what made him lose the fight because Brazil was quicker in the pocket. He wasn't the stronger fighter, but he was quicker and more creative. And I just thought he was on the back foot from the first second.
mm, mm. So does he look like a prospect for you, BG?
Brazil.
Mm.
Um,
How
I
impressed were you
think
by his performance overall?
I like his IQ. I think he's very skillful. I think he's got very good shot selection. I'm not sure what his age is at. I think he's still young. So maybe when he gets a little bit older and he's a bit more fuller, he can actually put some power in his shots. But right now, he's a really good point striker. He's very good at outpointing his fighters. And in that fight, that's what I took away most from him was that he has a very good IQ in terms of how he chooses his shots and how he can footwork his way around opponents and not really put himself in the line of fire very well. So I thought that was what was the most impressive thing I found from him.
Yeah, I mean, this is the strawweight division, of course, where Bokang Masunyane is the future champ. So,
Mm.
not much that we can say for
But
this guy
that's
in this division. Doesn't really have a chance.
but Pukang is MMA though. Pukang, this is not MMA. This
Oh
is
yeah,
Muay
of
Thai.
course, it's MMA. Oh, my bad, my
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. So
Well,
you
maybe
look at the
Bokang
store.
crosses over, and we'll see him
Can you
become
imagine?
two sport champ. But anyway, that's a story for another day, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna keep it moving to what I thought was the fight of the night, PG. Would you
Absolutely.
agree with that? Yeah,
Yeah,
bruh.
1000%.
This was an absolute barn burner, and yeah, we saw Toyota eventually win by knockout
Mm-hmm.
against Techanan. But
Mm-hmm.
when we say this was a barn burner, this was
Yeah,
hell of a fight. So BG, what can you tell us
yeah.
here, bro?
So firstly, big ups to Techanan, being only 17 years old and coming in to fight that kind of performance. Because Toyota is a good fighter, good knockout specialist kind of fighter. And I thought Techanan did really well in that first round. I thought he actually was winning the first round when he threw the right body kick, downward elbow. He threw one or two calf kicks in the first round, but he was winning the fight because he had Toyota second guessing his entries. He had Toyota not really landing on him, and he was establishing the range because he is taller than Toyota, slightly more fuller as well. So he was utilizing that quite a bit. Then I think it was in the late first round or early second round with no, it was late in the first round with Toyota actually got a knockdown on Techanan, and then almost had to finish the fight, or tried to finish the fight, but Techanan was really been able to navigate and block and, be Benoit and actually survive that onslaught because it was an intense onslaught. But then I also noticed that going into the second round, Toyota looked like he was actually gassed, like he depleted himself trying to get the finish in that first round. That it didn't actually work out, and Techanan had the advantage. Or was it in the second round where that happened? Um, with Dechanan was surviving that, and you could see that Toyota was a bit tired. And then when they went into the third round, I thought Toyota was really gassed. And I thought Dechanan should actually have put the pressure on him in that third round, but then he couldn't actually put the pressure on. And well, funny enough, Toyota was the one who actually came back and started landing on Dechanan. I think it was he also threw a team kick and then landed a left hook to the body. We landed three left hooks to the body, I think it was. Yeah, a left hook to the body, duck under, another left hook, then he threw a right hand, and then another left hook to the body again. And it pretty much ended Dechanan's fight for that night. Pretty much getting the knockout because the body shots was just way too much for him to take on. But I do think he's a prospect. He's 17 years old. This is Dechanan now. 17 years old. I thought he fought fantastically because Toyota is a dangerous opponent for anybody. And he was able to survive 2 rounds with him. And obviously in the third round, he just got punished. But I do like the way he fights. I do want him to add more to his repertoire. I want to see him do different things and not just rely only on that switch kick or right body kick or even downward elbow. Because I thought there was moments where they were tight in the clinch and he could have thrown different kind of shots. He didn't throw any uppercuts. And I thought Toyota was the one that was a bit more elusive in the way he was, choosing these shots. And that's pretty much what ultimately got him that fantastic body shot finish.
Yeah, no, I was very impressed by Toyota, bro. Yeah, I did think, if I'm being hypercritical, like he did eventually show good fight IQ going to the body, but
Yeah.
like I said, if I'm being hypercritical, you'd like to see that a little bit earlier because he did have Dechen
Mm.
on the ropes.
Yes.
And fair play, like you said, to the 17-year-old, bro. 17 years old, that man was walking through fire, bro. And yeah, like you said, definite prospect for the future.
Mm.
So BG, any final thoughts on the card? Any other fights you'd like to have a look at?
Um, no, I think that was about it. I would highlight though we didn't get to watch it very properly, but from what I did gather, the MMA fight. So it's the third fight from the bottom. Robson de Oliveira that took on Jason. What's it? Miralpes from the Philippines. That fight looked like it was fire from the first moment. Oaks were doing heavy jiu-jitsu. They were rolling around reversal after reversal. So that was a fantastic fight. Would have loved to have seen someone get the submission because Oaks had submissions locked in, but they were able to get out from it. So that was fabulous to watch. And then also the opening fight was fantastic. Omar Drisi versus Tomoki Sato in the flyweight Muay Thai. That was also quite entertaining. And Sato getting a knockout finish. Remember, we both saw that fight, and Omar was doing the stanky leg there, trying to stand, but couldn't stand really. But overall, the fight was pretty much green for me in terms of like seeing them all for the first time, and other than Yodlekpet, obviously. But good fight overall. There's some good names that I will remember after seeing that fight night. Excuse me, that fight card.
Give thanks, PG. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have made it this far in the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, let us know in the comments what you thought about the fights. There
Mhm.
were a few really great fights on the card, so I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
BG, any final words for the people before we sign off? Yeah.
Just many thanks, dude. We're almost on 700 subscribers. I see our watch hours are increasing. We're hitting our landmarks nice and steadily. So just keep up doing that. And also, uh, I don't want to give too much information away now, but next week you can expect us to potentially do our first live ever on the CPS report. So keep a lookout for
Wink, wink. On that note,
that.
ladies and gentlemen, you all have a wonderful weekend. From myself, BG, and all of us here at the CPS Reports, we are out of here.